Hello Stampers! I have another card for you here using the Bamboo Beauty stamp set from Stampin' Up. This gives you another way to use this set. You don't have to use the whole, all of the bamboo when you're stamping. Of course, I used this right here and the Send and Carry Thoughts to create this scene. And we're going to go through this step by step as normal, and we're going to start with a 3 by 4.5 inch basic white panel, and we're going to get our Versamark pad out here. I'm going to use a really old Versamark pad that has ink stained all over it, but you can use your brand spanking new Versamark pads. Just be sure that you clean your stamp in between images. I don't have to since I'm using this old pad, but if you want to keep your Versamark pad pristine, be sure you clean your stamp in between images. Okay? So we're going to stamp the smallest, leafy, what do you want to call it? Leafy stems. And we're going to load our stamp with Versamark, load it with Old Olive ink, and then we're going to stamp it. And I want it to look like the wind is blowing a bit, so I'm going to tilt mine to the side a bit and stamp it. And we're going to repeat that process for as many stems as we would like. It's okay if they overlap a little bit. Just make sure you're getting that Versamark on there before your ink each time you reload your stamp. And I think that's all. Oh, maybe one more on the edge. There we go. All right, so we're done with that. And now we're going to bring in our clear embossing powder. I have mine in a big tub. We're going to load that on our image, give it a flick on the back, and take our heat tool and heat this up just until it starts to shine. Little tip, don't heat your panel up on the desk. Hold it up, it'll heat up faster. That way you're not trying to heat your whole desk, you're just heating the paper. And if your paper starts to warp, give it a little heat on the back too. There we have my, make sure it's all, looks like I missed just a little spot there. Okay, so now that we have these images embossed, we don't have to, they'll resist ink and we don't have to worry about putting ink over them for the rest of our background here. So we're going to start putting our background in with some direct paper, and we're going to use Balmy Blue ink, and we're going to use the short end of our ink pad. And we're going to draw it across. And draw it across a few times. And you just want to do it over the bottom, the top 2/3 of the panel. It's alright if you get some dark spaces. That just starts to look like clouds, etc. You know. Okay, next we're going to use crumb cake. And we're going to put that in the bottom. We're doing the same thing, direct to paper. We're going up to meet that blue. Okay, so there's our ground. And we need to grab a post-it note here or a piece of paper. Just, you'll have to hold it if you use a piece of paper. But I want to put my water line in here, so I going to line one side of the Post-it note up with the left side of my panel. And then I'm going to get a blending brush out. I'm going to turn this upside down to work on it. And I'm going to put in our horizon line here. So I want some color to go across the top of the water area. Okay, so I'm mainly putting my color here, but I'm getting enough in on the cardstock itself to make a line across. And that's all we want for that. Okay, then we're going to turn this around and we're going to put it back on the paper. I only want to show just a hint of that water showing above the Post-it. So I just have a hint of that showing. And we're going to get back out that crumb cake. I think we're going to add some ground in here. Our hill shape on the other side of the water. So I'm just using the tip of my brush. There we go. Made it a little hill shape. So now we have our water, we got the land on the other side. And now I think I want some color in the sand area, like some grass might be growing beneath these plants. So I'm going to get my old olive back out and just do a little bit of old olive there. At the base of our plants. It's a little higher than the bottom of the plants. Okay, and I think I want to put in a shadow, a dark shadow at the base of the plants also. I got a Q-tip out, and anytime I want to do just smaller work to where a sponge is too big or a blending brush is too big, just grab a Q-tip and use it. Just doing a little circular motion here at the bottom of the base of the plants, right? Gives our shadow. And I think I'm going to stamp our sentiment in that color too. This is Early Espresso. Sorry, I didn't tell you that. For our shadow, it's Early Espresso. And I'm going to stamp our sentiment in Early Espresso too. Stamp it up here in the sky. There we go. And I think I want some bolder blue in the sky also. Let this dry just a second. And I'm going to use that direct to paper, short end of the ink pad, and I'm going to draw it over this left side a bit, and I'm picking it up towards the middle. I just wanted some darker color in there. And I'm going to take a black Stampin' Blends marker. This is the dark basic black. And the fine edge, fine tip of it, and pull it up along the bottom of these stems a little bit. Just really fine. And we'll get out our white chalk marker. I'm going to add a few dots here along the ground at the base of these plants. These could be pebbles, they could be flowers. And I'm going to highlight just a couple of these stems. Maybe highlight a couple of the leaves. And there is our scene, just that quick. Now we're ready to put it together. I'm going to pull my panels out here. You're going to be able to find all the panel dimensions down in the description of this video. Right below the video, you'll see the description. Just click show more and you'll see all the panel sizes. And also you'll see links to all the products used. So I have a 5.5 by 8.5 inch soft suede card base. I fold it in half, it's an A2 size. And then inside I put a 4 by 5.25 Balmy Blue panel. On the outside, I also want a 4 by 5.25 Balmy Blue panel. And we're going to use one of these paper lattice pieces on our card front. I love this paper lattice. It's so easy and looks so great. Just as a backing on your card, you know. So I'm just going to take some of my trusty multi-purpose glue here. Put little dots in just some of these sections just to hold it on. Don't want too much, it'll go gushing out. Okay. So I'm putting it over towards the left-hand side, off-centered. Okay. And then I want some of our Whisper White ribbon. And we're going to put a piece of this on our panel here. Figure out where I want it on the front of it. And I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use glue dots to adhere the ends of that down. Glue dot over here. Add another there. Okay, just a little bit on the front. Now we're ready to glue this on our card front. Got a little love inside. Just center this on the card front. All right. And our main panel, I'm going to put a soft suede panel behind it that is 3 inches, well, it's 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. And then this gets glued on. And I have it off-centered to the right. Okay. And then we're going to take another piece of ribbon, a longer one this time, and we need to put it underneath the ribbon that's already on there, and then we'll tie it in a bow. Okay, fuss with our ribbon a little bit here. Make our loops a little smaller. And then we just need to trim our legs of our ribbon there. And this is what it ends up looking like. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I enjoyed making it. Thanks for joining me. Bye.